With the rapid advancement that the world does, not all of it is beneficial for each and every species on Earth. Humans are the most intelligent among animals, and evidently, it is us that dominates how the world functions. As we continue to survive and conquer life, we also continue to yearn for more. Human activities impact the environment in many ways, and the changes did trigger and result in climate change, soil erosion, poor air quality, and unsanitized water. Carbon is the pillar of life on Earth. It is part of the ocean, air, and rocks. Other living organisms also impact the carbon cycle. However, it is humans that have a significant effect and cause changes drastically throughout history. With this, species in faunas have to witness the devastating scene of destruction of their habitats right before their eyes.
The carbon cycle is the phenomenon that makes the Earth one of the most unique places in the universe. And that thing that makes our planet quite unique is life. All living things and therefore all faunas on Earth are carbon-based. It would be impossible for these animals to exist without carbon since carbon is the main component of sugars, proteins, DNA, muscle tissue, pretty much everything that makes up an organism. It also plays a significant role in cellular respiration, which is vital to an animal's survival and obtainment of energy. Basically, the carbon cycle goes like this. Plants use atmospheric carbon dioxide to make sugars and other carbohydrates to grow and reproduce. Lots of these plants ends up getting eaten by animals, specifically the herbivores, supplying them with the building blocks for other biological molecules and fuel. Then, these herbivores are eaten by other animals called carnivores, creating a sequence of transfer of matter and energy in the form of food from organism to organism. After being metabolized, the carbon returns to the environment in one of several different ways, ending up in the air through the fauna respiration or water in the earth itself through the remains of ancient marine fauna. These carbons stored in the environment are more familiar to us humans as fossil fuels.
Generally, fossil fuels are created from decomposing plants and animals, which are commonly found in the Earth's crust and can be burned to generate energy. Fossil fuels are used to heat and power homes and businesses and run automobiles and factories. Moreover, according to a research by the Environmental and Energy Study Institute of 2020, fossil fuels have been powering economies for almost 150 years and contribute over 80% of the world's energy today. However, utilizing fossil fuels for various global activities helped arise detrimental anthropogenic effects, or more specifically, anthropogenic stress. Anthropogenic stress is the harmful byproduct or influence of human beings on nature. These processes, objects, or materials result from human activity rather than naturally occurring without human intervention. As we utilize fossil fuels to a greater degree today, we release so much carbon dioxide into the air that the global climate has risen over 1 degree Fahrenheit, highlighting our massive actions that led to climate change. Climate change does affect human life but significantly deteriorates the fauna and animal life further. Specifically, due to climate change, animal habitats are becoming less comfortable, sometimes even inhospitable. When animals can't migrate to areas with more favorable climates, their chances of extinction increase significantly.
Non-native creatures that cause ecological harm in their environment, disrupting ecosystem equilibrium, are called invasive species. They are spread mainly by human actions, which are often unintentionally carried out by people and items we consume, which travel swiftly over the world and frequently carry unwanted species. These species can eradicate native plants and animals and even destroy biodiversity, compete with native organisms for limited resources, and impact the environment. Invasive species offer direct threats by preying on their native species, competing for native food or other resources, and lastly, killing native species young. It's tough to get rid of invasive species after it settled itself in the environment, since it can quickly spread and breed, taking over a large region. We can control and destroy invasive species by limiting and thoroughly checking their access to new environment. The growth and reproduction of native species must be fostered. Invasive species should be captured and removed with the help of volunteers.
Genetics studies how your behavior and environment may influence how your genes function. Unlike genetic changes, epigenetic change is reversible and does not alter your DNA sequence. However, it alters how your body interprets it. It affects gene expression by turning the genes on and off. Since the environment and its behaviors are dynamic, it can lead to epigenetic changes. The most common epigenetic processes are DNA methylation, chromatin changes or histone modification, or non-coding RNA. On Fauna, only DNA methylation is allowed for an animal-wide comparison of epigenetic processes. As most animals have this alteration, methylation of gene bodies appears to be constant across the animal kingdom, while methylation of promoters and repetitive region varies. DNA methylation is essential in gene control, transposon silencing, imprinting polyphenism, and speciation consolidation in animals. It drives evolution through stochastic, developmental, and environmental epigenetic diversity, transgenerational inheritance of epigenetic patterns with phenotypic implications, and many more. Knowing what this epigenetic is all about and how it alters gene expression based on the behavior of the environment, it is important for us to care and protect the environment to strive for evolution. In fauna, the environment can affect what animals eat, what is their practice, and what is their behavior in their everyday life. These factors affect their genome and can alter gene expression in the future. For instance, such exposure to chemical toxic waste is a threat to animals not only with their health, but the vigor of their offspring. When exposed to air pollutants, particle matters, or some black carbon in our atmosphere can make parents susceptible to potential diseases, including lung disease. But not everything results in a negative effect. In other circumstances, some changes in our environment can create a transgenerational resiliency among offspring, especially with climate change. Hypogenesis allows some animals to respond and adapt to these changes and pass them off to their offspring. The bottom line is, it is right before our eyes. By establishing clean air, earth, water for the environment, we can solve in a way that is safe for future generations. Let us all be stewards of our environment, as ours is a finite earth.